Captain No from October 2023. There was a superhero on the sidewalk named Captain No. Every day, for months, he was waking out of bed and saying no, and thinking no, and deferring what came his way. Since he would lose an idea, friend, or countenance, they might as well be harmful or hateful. Captain No did not want blame for possessing the unclean. He was really meaning no toward anything at all, as if he wanted nothing from the world. He smelled, for Captain No did not shower. There was a meteor shower in a different galaxy, but he was light years away from that. Captain No was more concerned with making sure that he got inside safe, for he was still a young man with this superhero sense, and the sun was beginning to set. His hind shoe lifted into the door of his building just as Portland Street turned orange. Then it began, the turn to night, a time of ancient anxiety. The long-dead fishermen were fried by a ginormous magnifying glass. Sketchy Irishmen in a black pickup appeared down below, probably for an Irish region that not everyone knew, for people are different, though may have similar objectives. I am not saying I understand it either, but the vice that won't go away can be kept at a safe and measured distance by a good parent. One did not need to be there as well. The people in hospital beds prayed and fasted. The people outside the hospitals also prayed and fasted. The medical students continued to learn so that they could help the sick out of their beds and be on the cutting edge of medical science. There was nice, cool, calm air in the laboratories of the medical school. Down in the gully, there was a man innocently fishing, having nothing to do with booze or a mortal cleanse. He was remote. They were saying 50 was the new age to start holding yoga poses as the scales of justice balanced and the speed of Teslas was measured in silence. Love, the magnet, kept the people's shoes on the sidewalk like moon boots. Taryn came to visit Worcester today from Baltimore, looking for inspiration from this changing New England city, and stared out of the coffee shop at the reddening light, apprehensive himself. Country City and Killa H sat on the steel bench by the flagpole, calm as an unblown whistle, while darling Marjorie told them it was okay to have their feelings. People waited for bus 19 to go down Main Street, past Piedmont, where Miguel had a nice walk with fresh air around 3 p.m. A lone man had blue flowers in his hair. A woman had purchased a shower curtain that showed a print of the Bath of Venus in a mint further south along the coast. No. No, I will stay dressed indoors in bed. I am just resting my eyes. No. The women loved him. No, because one cannot obtain that clear view in public and then continue it in private if one gives away to drives and desires, seduces those angels. The id must remain tame. If there is one eternal ideal for a body, it must be consistent in home and private life, not lusted after and lied for. No, simply a balanced ring, though I have toes. His smelly body was lying in bed. The woman tried to love him. Meanwhile, at Station 6 on Southbridge Street, a man was taking off his firefighting coat and heavy helmet, returning to his daughter and wife after a day of working that did include facing tall red flames in molten heat. He needn't take on the brunt. Don't touch the stove, a wise father once said. An Englishman, walking by a cemetery, laid down the word rug. You are not a hallway marked cat, only a house cat, I said to mine. The cat did not react in agony or take this to heart. Instead, Spirit on the tabby walked to his box to curl up and relax. The Buddhist monk in room 324 made a meal with what was left, beans and rice, his curtain closed and a golden Buddha a-glimmering. He looked up on the web pages what it meant to be called a goody two-shoes. Then he trapseed through the hall, by the door, where a sun letter was fading, from an E to nothing that could be recognized in a photograph. As 2 doors away, a thinker inventing the swirled magnet halo of light over his head, as if he had a bun, was using his own body to make new postures and poses to protect this sacred transition into the starry night, poses that calmed, centered, and leveled the body, poses duplicated by the benches in the common. Killa H, City, Country, and Marjorie were pulling blockages from aortas, allegedly. Safe to say, the nearby medical school did not hurt from a gang experiment with Eastern medicine. A liberated cluster of people walking freely became a movement. A new moon became a revolution. A fighter jet flew over Worcester State. In another room in the Franklin building, a man was treating himself like a dark age peasant to deal with depression, lying down in the dark. Depression had given him an alibi that he did not want but did take some days. Depression had given him a grave outlook on life, but he had learned to manage it better. Overgrowth from adolescence. Changing where he went, with who, for what, and his means of dealing with emotion and pain. He felt pain. Below, Captain No remained in his bed. Absolutely not. No. Nope. The professor mused upon what he would rename streets by Holy Cross if he were able to do so. People drank beverages all over the city, but surely it mattered what was in the beverages as far as the thoughts they natured. Though a complete, brilliant poem had come from select drunkards once or twice, this literature was not for the majority of those who drank alcohol, and he knew a fool was one who was aggressive toward the insight of a sober one. By the end of the night, the contemplative was covered in protective, theoretical, creepy spiders by loving students, so that beneath the flesh he would not be compromised. Later, he opened a Fanta. It was 8 o'clock. Captain No had done it. He was nowhere else but in bed that time, invisible, to say the least, but also not condemning. In a quest to unmask him, they would refer to him plainly as a good man.